Good morning. It's 7:09 on Fox News Talk 1430 WXNT 228-1430 1-866-440-1430. Appreciate you being here. Tomorrow we visit with the mayor of Indianapolis. Mayor making his monthly visit on the program. We'll talk about what's going on in and around the city. We'll talk potholes, and the city want to crack down on some unruly kids hanging out in the downtown area, which I got no problem with. So that'll be on tomorrow's show. Right now, though, as we look at the lay of the land, we look at the yelling, the screaming, the folks packing the hallways, not only here in Indiana, but also up in Madison, Wisconsin, and some other places. For some of us who may be scratching our heads before our next guest, it's really no surprise because everything that the state of Indiana is going through, he went through himself. And so we thought it'd be a good time to have him come by and pay us a little visit. Our good friend Dave Bigo, author of The Devil at My Doorstep, his fight with the SEIU, and also EMS Services, and also owns Maple Creek, where we do cocktails and conversation on occasion. Dave, good morning.
Morning, Abdul. Pleasure to be back.
Thank you very much, my friend, for being with us. So when you turn on the TV and you see what's going on at the Indiana General Assembly and up in Madison, Wisconsin, does any of this really surprise you or shock you?
Not at all. We experienced the same type of tactics when the SEIU came to town and tried to force unionize our people.
And help our audience out here. Give them a little bit of a quick recap.
Well, back in 2005, the SEIU targeted the Midwest and specifically janitors in the Midwest, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Columbus, Ohio. And it's a business plan, basically. They look at it and they say, okay, how many people can we organize? What's that mean to us in dues and revenue? And then they go in and they try to organize the cleaning companies in those areas. And, of course, we were one of them. And when they came to town, they didn't want to have an election. I gave them a chance many, many times to have an election. They turned me down every time. In fact, it's kind of like the situation you have with the Democrats walking out. Every time that I would talk to them about having an election, they'd get up and walk out. They didn't want to talk about that. They didn't want to debate the issues. And what they wanted me to do was sign a neutrality agreement, which is the precursor of card check or the Employee Free Choice Act. And I kept refusing to do that. I just kept saying, hey, let's have an election. And they wouldn't do it, so they came after us and ran their corporate campaign. You know, they had rallies in the streets and flyers and letters to our customers and clergy people after us, and it just went on and on and on.
What do you think, Dave, when you hear the argument, a lot of people are saying that, you know what, this is about a tax on labor or a tax on working people, whether it's something like right to work or collective bargaining, that Republicans, conservatives, whomever, are just declaring war on the middle class and working people?
Well, I actually look at it from a different perspective from the other side. It's more of an attack on people that aren't interested in being unionized or being forced unionized. You know, in most aspects of our country, we have freedom of choice. And one thing we don't, for the most part across the country, is freedom to decide whether people want to belong to a union or not. And the truth is that the tail is wagging the dog. Less than 12% of the workforce is unionized. And if you do the numbers, that's about 0.5% of the population of the United States. And here we've got this group telling people whether they should be in a union or not. And if you take it from that perspective, people ought to have the choice. And if unions really have something to sell, if they have a product that they can take care of their people, then they ought to be successful.
It's 7:13 on Fox News Talk 1430 WXNT. Dave Bigo, our guest. Dave, the head of EMS Services, sort of a cleaning company here in Indianapolis. Also, he wrote the book The Devil at My Doorstep. His back and forth with the SEIU. Let's say hi to Shelley before we break here. Hi, Shelley. You're on Fox News Talk 1430. Good morning.
Morning, Abdul, and good morning, Dave Bigo. Thanks for speaking out on this subject. And I'm just absolutely furious with Democrats for taking away the voice of Hoosiers. We spoke loud and clear last November. These are the reforms that the majority of us voted for, and I'm just furious with them for taking away the voice of the majority to represent the special interests of a few. Thanks.
All right. Hey, thank you. 7:13. You know what? Let's squeeze in one more phone call. Let's say hi to Mickey. Hey, Mickey, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Abdul. I think that lady who just called is the same idea that I had, but I think if you or anybody would walk off of the job the way they did, they would be fired immediately. I think every one of them should be fired, no pay, no insurance, no vacation days, no nothing. Because you or me, we couldn't do that, Abdul. We couldn't walk off the job one day, but they're up there having hot baths and hot tubs and all that stuff.
Well, I'm trying not to think of some of them in a hot tub right now. I'm trying to get that image out of my head. But Mickey, what do you say when the Democrats say, you know what, we're just doing what our constituents want us to do, which is bring all this stuff to a halt?
No, but they should.